Well, I finally broke down and got me a toolbox, and kind of silly because I wanted one that would match the truck. So my silver one, it was falling apart. It didn't lock right. Didn't have any shocks on it to hold the lid open. It just had holes in it. It was not a good toolbox, really. It just kind of came with the truck sort of deal. So I wanted to get one that would match after I got the truck painted. I decided I did want the silver one. I want to get a black one, but the problem is this is gloss black and everything else is flat black. But it's no big deal. If I really am bothered by it, I can get it painted, but I'm not that worried about it. You see, I was going to try to put it on, but apparently I'm not allowed to. But anyway, I was just going to show you guys. It's just a cobalt one I picked up at Lowe's, and actually I'm tickled because it was on sale and I didn't know it. And it was like 20% off. So its list price, I think, was like 340 bucks. And then we bought some other stuff, and then we go to check out, and the total bill was like 320. I was like, oh man, he must have rang it up wrong. But then I looked at the receipt, and it was $65 off, which was great because there wasn't any stickers or anything that said it was on sale. I don't know if they were just doing Black Friday or what. Anyway, I mean, it's technically Black Sunday now, I guess, but still it was on sale. Anyway, so much better deal. I've got the keys for it already. It actually locks. The big thing was I wanted one big enough that I could put milk crates in, because what I like to do is I have milk crates. I have milk crates with all my tools in it, and right now those are riding around in the back seat of my truck on the floorboard. So now I'll be able to put them in here. I like to be able to keep everything in milk crates, because then if I have to swap out, if I'm going to do a beer removal or something, I can take all of my wrench and ratchet tools out. I can take all my wrench and ratchet tools out and put all my beekeeping tools in. So just kind of a quick swap, one toolbox deal. But hey, I was going to show you how I was putting these in. Stop, honey, please. Come on. Oh, look at that. Yeah, that's good. It's already got chips out of the paint. Don't knock that off. Be careful. Be careful. So the way this thing comes, it's got just slots in here. And you can buy a little clamp-on kit. I actually bought one. And then I decided I didn't like it because I was looking at the way the clamps worked. And it required you to clamp down here underneath. And it just had an Allen head screw. And so I was like, well, shoot, somebody could just walk right up, reach over the bedside with an Allen head wrench if they wanted to. Take that screw loose and take my toolbox. So what I'm doing instead is how I've done every other toolbox I've ever owned. Is J-bolts. So J-bolts go right down here underneath, and they'll hook. It's kind of hard to show you, but they hook under your bedside and then pull back up tight. So it'll hook under your bedside, and then you just bolt it down. I've got some fender big washers here to help hold it down, but that way, the only way somebody can steal your toolbox is they got to be able to get your lid open first, which these things are not by any means impenetrable, but at least slows them down. So that little clamp kit that I bought is right there with it in the store. It's $25. Like, that thing's a piece of junk. It's a couple pieces of pre-molded plastic and a couple of bolts. These J-bolts were 75 cents a piece or something, maybe $1.15 a piece, and a couple of nuts and bolts, or nuts that were 15 cents a piece, whatever. So far cheaper, and in my mind far more secure. So let me go ahead and get it bolted down here, and then I'll just show you what it looks like. Okay, so here we got it bolted down, and you can see what I like to do: put the fender washer on there, and then a regular nut so I can thread it down real quick to hold it, and then I put one of these polyurethane nuts or whatever they call them. They've got the little lock nuts. They've got that plastic on the inside to hold them in place, just so I don't have to worry about it vibrating and shaking loose over time. Not that it's really a problem, but that way you don't have to necessarily put your J-bolts so tight that they crimp your bedside. It just holds in place well. So anyway, just 2 on either side should be enough. Now this was a 5/16 by 3 inch, 3 inch long J-bolt, and you can see it was actually just enough. I only had about 1 inch sticking up. I was thinking I was gonna have to cut it, cut them shorter so they wouldn't be too long, but really your bedside here is pretty tall. So it worked out really, really well. That was just the right size. I was gonna buy some 1/4 inches, and I'm glad I didn't, because they looked a little dinky, and they would have been too short. They were a 1/4 inch by, I think 1/4 inch by 2, so they wouldn't have been long enough anyway. So I'm really lucky I saw these 5/16. But anyway, like I said, she's secure now. Good looking toolbox. I'm tickled. Pops right open, and now it's time to get my tools in it. Finally get them out of the back seat of my truck where they've been for 2 months.